So in the last video, we talked about 5 habits that I believe everyone should establish firmly before you even think about starting to buy supplements. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk supplements. So these are going to go in the order from most to least important. Starting off at the top with protein, we want a good whey protein. It's going to have a full amino acid profile. It's going to have plenty of leucine and EAAs to trigger that anabolic process, all right? Concentrate is just fine and very affordable. Isolate's a little bit more expensive and it gives you slightly more protein per unit volume, but concentrate is perfectly fine. All right, so next we want to talk stimulants, okay? So caffeine is our stimulant of choice. It's safe, it's efficacious, it's cheap, it's everywhere. You can get it in pre-workout form. You could take black coffee or you can get it in a pill or a capsule. Typically 150 to 300 milligrams is fine. Now, this isn't going to be a substitute for our sleep. This is just for the performance benefits and the perception of fatigue. Caffeine. Next up, creatine. Another safe, proven, highly researched supplement. Monohydrate form is the gold standard. Typically 5 grams per day or more will give you all of the results from that. Not only is it good for your muscles, but it's also good for your brain. I actually started taking creatine daily for my TBI symptoms, and it's had tremendous results. So creatine. Number 4, magnesium, all right? The body uses magnesium for a ton of different things, literally hundreds, okay? You can get a lot of magnesium from vegetables, but because most of us don't eat too many vegetables, many people are magnesium deficient, all right? The magnesium you want is going to be in either bisglycinate form or threonate form, okay? These 2 forms of magnesium are more GI friendly, and so you can take 600 to 800 milligrams. You can take a higher, more efficacious dose. Citrate you'll find in a lot of mixtures at the grocery store or in the supplement store because it's a little bit cheaper than bisglycinate or threonate. That's fine, but you'll find that some people don't tolerate it as well, and it gives you a little bit of an upset stomach. And then you definitely don't want to be taking magnesium oxide because that'll have you running to the bathroom real quick. So read the label, make sure when you get your magnesium, it's bisglycinate or threonate form. Those are the 2 best tolerated forms of magnesium. To interject real quick before we move on, the reason why magnesium makes this list is because amongst the multitude of other things that it does, magnesium is a very powerful recovery tool in the sense that it goes a long way to improve sleep quality. All right, and bringing up the rear in number 5, we have a multivitamin. Now, I also put fish oil and D3K2 here as honorable mentions, all right? I put multivitamin down because one of the things that I want to make sure I do with this channel is to talk about simple, actionable, fundamentally true things and not too much nuance. The issue with fish oil is the quality really matters, okay? You could have the best, most efficacious fish oil, but if it's stored incorrectly, it's gonna be junk. And then you could just also have junk fish oil from a crappy manufacturer. So fish oil does work great when it's a good fish oil and it's stored correctly. But again, there's some nuance with that, so that's why it gets an honorable mention. And then the same thing with D3 and K2. D3 and K2 combined together, I should say. Again, many people are low in vitamin D and D3. You can take over the counter. You don't need a prescription for it. However, again, that's more of a nuanced thing. Not everyone necessarily needs extra D3, K2. So that's why they're in the honorable mentions. And number 5 goes to the multivitamin. And that's about it, folks. I mean, when filtered through the lens of safety, cost effectiveness, and efficacy, you really only have a handful of supplements to choose from, and that's this list here. Protein, creatine, caffeine as a stimulant, magnesium and a multivitamin to make up some holes in your diet, and then if you can get it from a high quality source and it's stored properly, some fish oil and possibly, depending on the individual, maybe some vitamin D3. Stay in the fight.